Ozee and Victoria, they almost kissed. All through the early hours of this morning, I sat so close to my TV. I was very, very close to the TV set. And that's because of Ozee and Victoria, because I didn't want to miss anything. Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Lucy's Quick One, talking the Big Brother Naija show. Ozee and Victoria had me up. They had me up all through the morning. I was like, there is no way I will go to work without giving you, my friend, these updates. You wait. Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Lucy's Quick One, talking the Big Brother Naija show. So, in case you're new here, you're very welcome. In case you're yet to subscribe as well, please do well to subscribe, like and comment on this video. So immediately after the Saturday night party, I was talking about in my previous video, I was like, I really did not like the fact that these guys, they were not able to like boogie down and dance to their heart's content. But after the party, we had people who were tipsy. We had the likes of Chizoba, we had Tofa, we had Cassia. Victoria was also tipsy, Nelly was also tipsy. I think even Ozee was tipsy. Now, these guys were relaxing and talking in the house and just trying to vibe. Now, the camera moves from each housemate, and then we are seeing the camera on Kelly Ray. Kelly Ray is seated, and before we know what's happening, of course, Kazia was also there. Kazia was gone. Kazia was already singing gyration and having fun, but Kelly Ray sat there to make sure that this girl does not mess up. Even when Ben brought alcohol to her, it was like, do not bring the alcohol to my babe, please just move away from here. You make sure that Kazia has something to eat. But before we know what's happening, Ozee joins them, and we also have TJ, and then Victoria also joins them, and they were having a conversation. So Ozee was going on about, the fact that, the housemates, the reason that there is fights, it's normal propaganda, just like Ozee does. It's the fact that a lot of people are having misunderstandings in the house, and the conversation was just going like that. Then, before I knew what was happening, the camera moves from Ozee and Kelly Ray to Ozee and Victoria. At first, I was hearing hush, hush, hush. I was like, what's going on here? And then the camera zooms to them, and I'm seeing that Victoria, who is already tipsy, is talking to Ozee. And before I know what's happening, there was a lot of flirtation. Hey, hot flirtation going on there. And then you can see Victoria puts her hand on Ozee and then her leg, and she's just talking in a very tipsy, feminine energy tone. And then Ozee just had to like gather himself. He had to like gauge. Ozee was there talking, and then they were talking to each other. Before I knew what was happening, Victoria was asking Ozee, what do you want from me? Then Ozee's like, you too, what do you want from me? And then Ozee is telling Victoria that, the reason, like, this our relationship that we have is costing me some other ships. For example, of course, the rift that he's having, or the small misunderstanding he's having with Onyeka. Now, as they were talking, Ozee was like, I have to stand up, I need to go pee. And then Victoria was like, will you come back? He said, I'll come back. I'll be here. He said, I'm here. He goes. Now the camera goes back to Ozee and then Kelly Ray. Now prior to the party, we had a task where they had the game charade, and then Kelly Ray was the person who had to describe the items that were given to them. So at some point, because Kelly Ray was not describing these things very well, there was an outburst from Ozee, who was a team member, and then we had Cassia and Victoria in that group. They had to be like, Ozee, calm down now. So in as much as it felt like they had talked about it, that conversation came up again the moment Ozee left. So Victoria was like, Ozee, we feel like you were not happy to have us as your team members. And then Ozee had to start explaining that he's not like he meant it that way, that outside the house he's very good at charade. So the fact that he's in that house and then they are playing the game and they're not getting it really got to him. So it's not like he's having any personal issues with any of them. That's Cassia, Victoria and Kelly Ray. It's just that he felt like they could have done better. The moment these guys were talking about this, before they had that conversation with Ozee, a lot of people were saying, oh, these guys are cowards, they can't speak and everything. One thing that you guys need to understand is, if something happens, you don't need to react immediately all the time. Just look for the perfect time. And to me, having that conversation with Ozee at that time after the party was the best time. Now let's go back to Ozee and Victoria, guys. Ozee comes back. And this time, Ozee is talking about, oh, are you truthful to your feelings? Are you real? Like, people are playing games in this house. Can I trust you? Can you trust me? And all of that. I just kept on holding my breath throughout. I said, these guys, if they kiss, what's going to happen? I was just like, I don't understand. Is Victoria playing this game? I said it before that this gentle lady called Victoria, where she's headed, I don't know. I really have to give it to Ozee because Ozee held himself so well. She was really like laughing, throwing herself on his body, caressing him. In fact, at some point she was holding his beard. I was like, oh my, oh my, oh my. Somebody help Ozee. Ozee was just invested in his conversation, but he had one eye on Victoria. At some point, Kelly Ray left the space, and Ekasia was about to leave, and she was trying to take Victoria out of the space. But Ozee was like, "You two, where are you going to?" I don't know if I should call this pent-up feelings or emotions between Ozee and Victoria. We understand that there is a friendship in that space when it comes to Ozee and Victoria, but I feel like sometimes when you're tipsy, the real you, or sometimes you start saying things that you really mean, in as much as I'm not really sure where to place this, but I really have to give it to Ozee, because yesterday they were so close. See, if you watched it, they were like this, very, very close. He made After a while of tension, Ozee was like, Victoria, you're weak, you need food, you'll be very hungry, let me make something for you. So Ozee goes out to make something, comes back, and then Victoria is like, she's already sleepy, and he's like, you probably go to bed, and she's like, will you stay with me, will you be with me? I was like, Victoria, you need to stop right now. Then he goes back to check what he's cooking and comes back, and he's like, you know what, let me take you to bed. And then he takes Victoria to bed. The end. Wow. These guys, I kept on waiting and waiting and waiting to see, because I do not want to come and be hearing, oh, this is what happened, this is what happened. I wanted to give you the full thing, the way it actually happened. The camera at some point took us to Onyeka to see that she was cooking in the kitchen. Then later on, we could see Onyeka in the lounge. She was sleeping already. Girl was also living her best life, unbothered. And then we moved back to Ozee and Victoria. Now that is on one hand. Did they kiss? No. Did they almost kiss? Now, moving on to another thing that stressed me early this morning. In fact, have you heard this song? We're fighting for nothing, crying for nothing. We had Wanni and Shaun. And the reason I'm talking about it is because I think for the very first time, Handy did not support her twin sister. So apparently, Wanni too was one of the people that was tipsy. In fact, I think a lot of people were tipsy from the party. And then Wanni was already fighting Shaun about he not understanding her feelings or something around that line. So Handy was trying to understand what exactly did Shaun do. But unfortunately for Wanni, she was not giving something. She was okay. She was saying that, okay, she tries to speak, nobody's understanding her feelings. He's not understanding where she's coming from. And he's like, I don't get, like, what exactly is the issue? Okay, I was irritated about something before. I voiced it out to you. You probably apologized about it. We moved on from it. Why are we talking about it again? And she was like, no, I mean, like, we do not converse the way you're supposed to be conversing. To me, I feel like Shaun shouldn't have, like, paid so much attention to it because Wanni was actually tipsy. If she had said these things when she was, like, all right, then would have known that this is something we should talk about. Because the cameraman had to move away. Kayode had to move away from them back to Ozee and Victoria and for us to see what was happening there. And then later on, he goes back, after Victoria had gone to bed, he goes back to Shaun, Wanni, and Handy.
Explaining myself. I don't understand.
And they kept on arguing and talking and saying, you know what, they do not understand why Wanni is the way she is. And I'm like, this thing is just normal. I really have to also talk about the Mbadiwe twins, because even while they were cooking in the kitchen, we had Ozee and Ozee talking to Suj and Nelly. Nelly was also like gone. And then they were talking about the fact that, at the beginning they were really pumped for task and all of that, but now they're not really like as pumped. Like anything that happens definitely happens and all of that. And I was like, I don't understand where this Mbadiwe twins usually go sometimes. I really don't understand it. Even after Victoria had gone to bed, Ozee and Ozee had a conversation, and this time Ozee was warning Ozee, saying, you have to be very careful. What using was like, you have to know where you're placing your investments. We had made mistakes before when we were younger, but now that we are older, we should know better. And then Ozee was like, I know what I'm doing, I understand what I'm doing. And it's like, what do you mean? He says, obviously, with the whole situation with Victoria, and then there is Onyeka, you have to be very careful with the way you are moving. And Ozee was like, don't worry, I have everything under control. And I was like, do you really have everything under control? When I was watching this, I was seeing comments about how Victoria is going to ghost Ozee the moment she wakes up and realizes everything that happened. In my mind, I was like, is she really going to do that? I know that Victoria likes to stand on business, but is she really going to do that? Those housemates just decided that they did not want us to sleep, and here I am just giving you the updates about what happened after the Saturday party in Big Brother's house. Let me know what you think about what happened in the comment section with Ozee and Victoria, and probably Wanni, Shaun and Handy. I got you with more right here on this channel. Till then, remember to enjoy every moment. Mwah. Bye.